Into the Radius is finally out on PSVR2, and it's fair to say that the reception has been overwhelmingly positive. Now I've been playing this game pretty much non-stop since it launched last Thursday, and shout out to Fast Travel Games for providing me with a review key. However, for as much as I'm enjoying this unique realistic survival experience on PSVR2, I can't help but think that this game is really not for everyone. I know that we can say this about every game in the history of gaming, but no really, Into the Radius is not for everyone. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about September's major PSVR2 release, Into the Radius, and instead of doing a full review like I usually do here on the channel, I figured that since I'm already late to the party, and that's not really my fault by the way, but anyways, I wanted to cover this game from a different angle, which to me feels more important than a regular review in the case of Into the Radius. So as I'm sure you all know at this point, Into the Radius is an open-world, single-player survival extraction-based game developed by CM Games, ported to PSVR2 by VRMonkey, and they did a phenomenal job by the way, so shout out to them, and published by Fast Travel Games. This beautiful, ultra-realistic, and super immersive survival sim will take you around 20 hours to beat on average, and during those 20 hours you'll be pretty much doing the same thing over and over again. Of course, this is a story-driven single-player experience, however you're most likely not going to care much about the story or even pay attention to it, since the gameplay loop here is the main star of the show, and this is the divisive part. You see, you'll either really love the gameplay of Into the Radius, and therefore you will fall in love with it, just like I did, or you're going to be extremely turned off by the gameplay to the point that you won't even make it past the tutorial, just like a friend of mine. So what is it about the gameplay of Into the Radius that makes it such a divisive game? Well, if I had to put it in two words, I would say it's the brutal realism. When I say brutal, I mean insanely brutal. The gameplay mechanics here are so realistic to the point that you will start thinking about super realism in VR games and whether or not it's a good idea to have them in the first place. I say this as someone who is having a blast with the game, but even I can acknowledge that Into the Radius can sometimes feel like a chore rather than a video game. We play games for fun, right? And obviously the definition of fun varies from one person to another. To me, unjamming a pistol multiple times in less than a minute can be fun, because it's immersive. But for someone like my friend that I just told you about, it's quite the opposite of that, and I can totally understand. Stuff like unjamming a pistol, toggling the safety on and off, using a specific type of ammo for each gun, cleaning your weapons with some paper, and more, these mechanics are certainly not gonna appeal to everyone. In fact, I would say that the gameplay mechanics of Into the Radius can overwhelm even the OG VR veterans. You know this game is not a walk in the park when you finish a tutorial, and you still feel like you have no idea how to play it. I can honestly say that even after having spent a decent time with the game so far, I still feel like I don't know how to play it, hence why I keep going back to the shooting range between missions. Usually in VR games we don't even need tutorials, right? We know how to use our weapons, we know how to interact with items, how to climb, etc. But when it comes to Into the Radius, trust me, you do not know jack sh**. The word intuitive clearly was not on the minds of the developers when they were making this game. So I think we can all agree that Into the Radius is not a simple game. That alone makes it a tough sell for VR newbies, and for people who are not very patient. People who don't want to spend hours learning the core mechanics of a video game. And there's also the fact that it's an open world, extraction based game, but obviously that's a different story. Oh, and by the way, the game is surprisingly very janky. The first time I tried to climb a ladder, it took me like 2 minutes to finally make it. There is certainly room for improvement here. So to sum up, is Into the Radius the right game for you? Well, if you're someone like me who loves immersion and ultimate realism, then absolutely, there is something really special in this game for people like us. But if you're someone who wants a straightforward experience, something intuitive and not frustrating, then I really don't think this one is for you. But that's just my opinion. I'm interested to know what you guys think, so let me know in the comments below. And that's gonna have to do it for this video guys. If you enjoyed it, if you found it informative, and for more PSVR2 news, reviews, and discussions, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and turn on notifications as well. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, take care.